up, Philippines City volunteers carry out a disaster survey for those affected by the recent typhoon. We learn how the military plays a vital role in safeguarding Taiwan citizens. Welcome to our headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in the Philippines, in the aftermath of Typhoon Chami, heavy rainfall caused severe flooding in Metro Manila. Following the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to conduct a disaster survey and also planned a relief work program to assist the survivors get back on their feet.
Here in Manila of the Philippines, heavy rainfall brought by Typhoon Chami caused devastating flooding, leaving countless residents homeless. Part of the disaster area, Laguna Province, was extensively covered in debris once the floodwater receded.
The flood level was so high and we were stuck on the roof. The water rose to the ceiling, around 2 meters high. We have been cleaning up our homes for 5 days. However, it is still muddy and messy.
Following the devastation of the typhoon, what concerns Tzu Chi volunteers the most is the health of the disaster survivors.
We first clean up the major roads because these are frequently used routes. We have already cleaned up the nearby areas, and next we will start cleaning up this place.
Partnering with the local government, Tzu Chi volunteers plan to carry out a relief work program as a way to provide further assistance to the disaster survivors.
In Taiwan, Northern District team members joined Tzu Chi volunteers in a free clinic held in Town, Taiwan County, providing 5 categories of medical services for local residents. As well, the medical staff from the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital joined Northern District team members in house calls to local residents in Shuangxi District, New Taipei City, where they offered both medical services and Tzu Chi's love and warmth. Seeing the arrival of team of doctors and Tzu Chi volunteers, 102-year-old grandpa and 92-year-old grandma are both excited as they warmly greeted their special guest. Joining Northern District team members, the medical staff of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital traveled to remote areas in New Taipei City, Shuangxi District. There they provided the needy with health checkups and healthcare tips. Among the patients are mostly immobile or bedridden seniors who are looked after by their partners or parents.
These patients' caregivers devote themselves without complaints. However, if their children can also share some of the burden from time to time, that will be better for these seniors.
The Deputy Superintendent of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, Huang Shichen, also joined the medical team and seized the opportunity to talk with the seniors and teach them some healthcare tips.
These doctors, nurses, and volunteers take time off from their own lives to come check on these patients. This way, we are actually tending to the disadvantaged on behalf of the government.
As remote areas such as these are in constant need of medical resources, Tzu Chi's free clinic is there to offer these patients both medical treatment and the much-needed emotional support. Meanwhile, in eastern Taiwan, doctors and nurses of Hualien, Yuli, and Guanshan Tzu Chi hospitals also took advantage of the holidays to join in a free clinic for the residents of Town, Taiwan County.
Here, medical resources are inadequate, especially in ophthalmology, dentistry, and traditional Chinese medicine.
With doctors, patients, and volunteers' company, this little girl no longer feels anxious when she undergoes the health checkup. Overall, the free clinic, which offered 5 categories of medical services, served 194 patients, alleviating their pain and suffering.
Thank you, doctors. We hope these events will be held on a regular basis because it is too far for us to travel to get to the Tzu Chi Hospital. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much.
The medical team also carried out house calls to care for immobile patients who were given a thorough diagnosis as well as medication and healthcare tips. The medical services provided by Tzu Chi this time around not only safeguarded the health of more members of the public, but also left them with their hearts full of warmth and love. In our series of reports on organ donations, we meet Hong Yuan-jun, who at 30 years of age was informed by his doctor that he would eventually need a liver transplant. Luckily, doctors were able to find a matching donor, thus giving Hong another lease on life. In gratitude, Hong later decided to be a potential organ donor, with the firm understanding that such charity really does save lives.
To remove the liquid, they had to insert a long needle. They didn't use any local anesthetic. Sometimes when inserting the needle, they didn't get it in the right spot, so they then would have to press down on my abdomen to push the water in the direction of the needle. You can imagine how painful it was. It was pure torment. It was like I was being executed each time.
When he was 30, Hong's hepatitis B worsened, causing hydroperitoneum and his liver to harden. Suddenly, the only way out was a liver transplant.
At first, you think that there is no way you could be so lucky to survive. After all, liver problems are not like kidney problems, where you can get in for dialysis. When your liver can't handle the load anymore, you just faint, and that is the end of your life.
Fortunately, doctors were able to find a match for Hong, thereby saving his life and ensuring that his two daughters would grow up with a father. Now healthy, Hong has decided one of the ways he can repay the love he has received is to himself sign an organ donor consent card.
On Dai TV, I saw a program that discussed organ donations. A mother was accompanying her sick son. The part that moved me the most was when the mother said to her son, "You need to be brave and firm. You need to donate these organs to those that need them. You need to follow through on this." At that time, I just cried and wondered how it was that I would cry so easily.
Since his transplant, every Chinese New Year, Hong Yuan-jun makes a handmade card for the family of the donor of his liver.
Her son used to give her cards on different occasions. Now I'm sort of like her son. Although I'm older than him by 2 years, losing a son is hard for all mothers, and I try my best to help assuage that pain. I have received so much love from that family. I try to give back what I can.
With words and pictures, Hong expresses his feelings of gratitude and the joy of being given a second chance at life and promises to never forget the love that has been sent his way.
Most consumers, when choosing their cosmetic products, look at the color, price, and effect, yet they often neglect to take health and safety issues into consideration. As experts advise members of the public not to use products from unknown origins, next we take a look at the health risks that nail polish from unidentified origins might have.
Upon entering the store, faced with the assortment of colors, which one is your pick? Is this one better or is that better? What consumers often care about is color and price, without any regard for the health risks that might accompany these bottles of colors.
For example, formaldehyde or methanol and phthalates lead to reproductive toxicity, and all these substances are prohibited substances in nail polish.
We randomly purchased 6 different types of inexpensive and indistinctly labeled nail polish. Then we sent it to the experts for testing to see whether they would test positive for prohibited phthalates. 4 years ago, director Ling Wei-zhao made a statement which shocked the nation's cosmetic research industry.
We tested about 30 bottles of nail polish and discovered that 70% of our sample contained phthalates.
66% of the nail polish sold domestically were found to contain prohibited phthalates. Not only did this pose a health risk for consumers, the safety and well-being of those in the industry were also at stake.
We work for about 8 to 9 hours each day, but we are already used to the smell. Each job has its occupational injuries. We wear surgical masks and keep the room ventilated. We've put in air filters as well.
At their workplace, we didn't detect any phthalates in the air, but we defined phthalate metabolites in their urine samples.
4 years have passed. Has there been any improvement?
We didn't find any phthalate in the 6 samples, before some manufacturers added benzene solvent to nail polish, which we also didn't find in these samples. Our tests show that it contained mostly ethyl acetate, which is a huge step forward from the past. Our tests would be more objective if we had more samples to work with.
Indeed, 6 nail polish samples is not enough to exhibit the truth. In recent years, there have been many incidents where well-known international brands' nail polish was found to contain cancer-causing benzene and heavy metals.
If it contains heavy metal, we have to be careful. That's because our nail is just like a sponge. After a bath, our nails become soft, and water will absorb into the nail plate. In other words, our nails can easily absorb substances right into our body.
We've had tested cases in the past where lead and mercury was added to nail polish. Lead especially was added to the brighter colors like red and yellow. If it's serious, it can cause lead poisoning, which can affect the nervous system and cause learning disorders.
Not everyone has the opportunity to send their products for testing before using them. If we are not able to fully determine a product's safety or its origins, then undoubtedly we are more likely to be exposed to health risks.
We have many cosmetic products with unknown origins. Most of them contain mercury. When you apply the product to your skin, 15 minutes later, you think you have become whiter. If this product guarantees immediate effect, you should question it. I personally don't think any skincare product is able to take effect immediately.
People in Taiwan use over 93 million facial masks each year, whether it is the open-shelf products or the more expensive brands. In an enclosed, high-temperature and high-moisture environment, the product's ingredients are easily absorbed into the skin.
If the mask is extremely cheap, or if its origin is unclear, it might bring our skin great harm instead of benefit. It is also possible that hazardous substances will enter our body through absorption.
If you happen to come across a defective product, remember to report it to the regulating health authorities. Only if we all play our part can the industry continue to improve and deliver products which we can use free of worries.
September 3rd is the Armed Forces Day here in Taiwan. Over the years, the responsibilities of soldiers in the country have changed from helping farmers harvest crops and holding free clinics to organizing disaster relief work. In our next report, we look at the transformation of the mission of Taiwan's military forces.
Back then, I didn't know how to use a sickle, so when I cut the crops, I hurt my thumb.
To Peng Guigang, this mark reminds him of his passion when serving his time in the military. In 1975, Taiwan was still an agricultural-based country. Back then, crops were harvested purely by manpower. Therefore, soldiers were often sent out to help farmers harvest their crops.
Back then, farmers had a lot of fields to farm, and there wasn't enough manpower. Soldiers were sent out by the military to help farmers.
It is the responsibility of soldiers to defend their country. However, in recent years, troops in Taiwan no longer have to go to war. Instead, their duties have changed to safeguarding Taiwan citizens by providing a variety of services.
Our duties include helping local residents in Jinmen and Mazu return to Taiwan during the Chinese New Year holidays.
Other than making sure local residents can return home safely, in the old days, military surgeons also held free clinics to safeguard the health of residents living in remote areas. In the aftermath of a typhoon, the military will send out soldiers to disaster areas. Despite the dirt and sweat, these soldiers are determined to help local residents return their lives to normal as soon as possible.
Right now, the military prepares for disaster relief as if it is going to war.
Our most important duty is to prepare enough troops to help in cases of typhoons. We will have local troops on standby in every township and village. When there is a disaster, they will report back to us and we will send our people to help. For example, cleaning in the aftermath of a road collapse.
Thanking the troops by offering them tea and water. At this moment, everyone is like one big family. In today's society, the duties of military personnel have transformed from fighting an enemy to helping the general public. Next time you see these soldiers, remember to show them your gratitude and appreciation.
It is a common perception that indigenous residents like to drink. However, in their culture, alcohol is in fact a sacred item. When Tzu Chi Foundation staff first visited tribal villages, they found that family and work pressures drove some to release their stress through drinking. This excessive drinking brings about health concerns such as liver problems or gout. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers worked to remind villagers of their ancestors' view regarding alcohol beverages, and to that end have been promoting a drink tea not alcohol campaign to help. Tonight at 7, let's all go to Wanlong Elementary School's auditorium. Tzu Chi is holding a drink tea not alcohol event.
In our Wanrong Township, 80% of the cause of death last month was alcohol-related. So this program to replace alcoholic beverages with tea is one worth promoting.
In Hualien's Wanrong Township, many residents are from the Turukku tribe and a few from the Bunong tribe. They live life much like their ancestors did in the mountains, but now are burdened with the negative social perceptions.
We see distilled beverages as a cultural heritage. However, now that alcohol and cigarettes are sold publicly, the culture behind it has been obscured.
With their tribal heritage obscured, changes need to be made to restore the original meaning and intent.
No matter what religious group you belong to, the first doctrine is to fill our heart with compassion. Second is maintain a healthy body so we may live a happy life.
Here, the choir from Ruba's church sings the power of rehabilitation. Through the power of music, tribal villagers can release the stress in their lives and also raise awareness of health issues as well.
I'm very touched that the Tzu Chi Foundation has taken an interest in us that not only crossed religious borders, but also ethnic lines.
Zhang Dazhen, who is from the Turukku tribe, previously spent a lot of time consuming alcohol.
Now that I've given up drinking, I have plenty of time. When I did drink, it would take up half or the whole day. Now that I have time on my hands, I volunteer in the community to help seniors or others that need caring.
Quitting alcohol not only gives one more time in the day, but also helps one find focus in life.
In the tribal community, everyone drinks alcohol, but I quit because my health deteriorated. Before I was living aimlessly, but now after volunteering, I feel very fulfilled and happy.
Wu Xiaoling shares her story at the tea ceremony in order to remind villagers not to wait until their health is gone to make amends to their body.
Me, I can consume a lot of alcohol. I used to be able to drink a whole carton of rose wine in one sitting. But then I got sick. My liver couldn't take it anymore. I was hospitalized twice and almost didn't make it out.
The 36-year-old village chief is the younger generation of the tribe, and she handles all the going-ons within Wanrong village.
Some people will see me drink and say, "Are you drinking alcohol? I thought you quit." After that, I stuck to my tea.
Since 2011, Tzu Chi has held close to 50 events to promote a replacement of alcohol with tea in various Hualien tribal areas. And with over 2,200 residents attending, the campaigns are surely making an impact.
It has been 20 years since Tzu Chi first set foot in Malaysia, and today 4 Jingsi halls and over 70 Tzu Chi offices and retreats can be found in the 13 states throughout the nation. The goal behind the establishment of each Tzu Chi point was, and still is, to call on more living bodhisattvas to join the Buddhist NGO and reach out to every needy corner to make a difference to the society we live in. With their hearts united as one, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia's Johor are getting ready to celebrate a special occasion. The Tzu Chi Pontan Liaison Office and Tzu Chi Kulai Liaison Office in Johor officially opened its doors in June of this year. On the day of the opening ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers from all around Malaysia arrived to give their sincerest blessings.
The care and love of our fellow volunteers gives us the courage and strength to carry out Tzu Chi's work here in Pengtian.
We are really blessed to have a home of our own, though it is not big in size, but it is heartwarming here. I live close by, so I can come help out a lot.
Tzu Chi chapters and liaison offices are established in hopes of inspiring compassionate individuals to give to those in need. Going back to August 11, 1993, the first Tzu Chi liaison office was set up in Penang. A decade later, in 2003, the Malaysia Jingsi Hall was constructed here as well. Another important milestone in the Tzu Chi Kedah chapter was the opening of the Kedah Jingsi Hall, Jingsi Books and Cafe, as well as the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in July of 2010.
This Jingsi Hall was built with the love of many of our brothers and sisters. I'm grateful to all the Tzu Chi volunteers who have been helping out over the past few days.
2 decades have gone by since the first Tzu Chi office was established here in Malaysia, and today there are 4 Jingsi halls as well as over 70 Tzu Chi retreats in the 13 states throughout the nation. Each of the Tzu Chi grounds are not temples, but locations open to all where residents can cultivate their spirituality. We go to Australia at the end of today's show. The Tzu Chi Australia chapter in Sydney recently held a vegetarian banquet and invited members of the public to get a taste of how delicious and healthy meatless meals can be. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.